I think at the same time, be an inspiration for others. And I remember if you think about who your main inspirations were growing up, maybe it was your family, it was someone close to you. But when I first discovered personal development, it was a brand new philosophy to me, working on yourself. My first inspiration, like hardcore inspiration, was Tony Robbins. Like I would literally watch everything of his. And a part of what attracted me to him in the first place was his vulnerability and him sharing his life story of coming from a place where he had like 9 different fathers. He didn't have food on Thanksgiving. Someone delivered a Thanksgiving meal. The father that he had at that time tried to say no to the Thanksgiving meal. The guy delivering the meal was like, hey man, put your ego aside and feed your family and just take the damn meal. And he said that from that point on, he realized that people are good and that there are good people. And he wanted to be one of those people. So when I mentioned earlier, being your authentic self versus being a false self, for a long time, I just wanted to be Tony Robbins. Like my goals became Tony Robbins goals. Like I wanted to host events with thousands of people. Where did that come from? It came from Tony Robbins hosting events with thousands of people. So it got to the point where I was literally wanting to present like him. I would watch videos of him presenting. I would literally copy the movements. I would do all that stuff. And it got to a point where I was like a little mini replica, but it was inauthentic. It wasn't who I was. Right. And I think at the beginning, like what you said, I think it's important to draw inspiration, but don't let inspiration become obsession. Right. It was only once I realized my differences from Tony Robbins that I realized what my strengths really were. Right. I realized it's okay if I'm not as explosive as him. It's okay if I'm more quiet and more introverted. I realized that, like what you said, Ben, that was a magnet to other people who were like me. Because before that, I was only attracting boisterous, outgoing, extroverted people. And it was tiring because I had to constantly keep up with those types of people. That's just not who I am. But once I leaned into who I really am, that's when I started meeting people like Christine. Right. And Christine's not like, she's definitely more extroverted than me, but she's definitely a lot more chill than someone like Tony Robbins is. Right.
Yeah.
That's when I met Brian Rollo, who again is more of an introverted individual who listens and takes in information. So draw inspiration, but at the same time, don't lose focus of who you are and what makes you special with your own strengths.